Intro music or no?
If we hired an editor.
I
mean, like,
right now.
Yeah, we definitely are. I think it's good background banter. I was thinking earlier we'd get off, like the war hippies have served us well. We're gonna do some Rufus Day Soul.
Oh, yeah, we're not sticking country.
Yeah, you were thinking country, but it's basically like we're talking about spring. So it's the snow melting away, which means we're gonna be underwater. The name of the song is Underwater. You know, you don't know if like that. Anyway, that's it. That's that.
That's our audio. Production value at an all-time high tonight.
We're still stitching it together, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not a big tech issue to even get this thing fucking revved up.
But what's not revved up?
Shots.
Shots.
Good to see you, brother. Happy Friday.
Welcome back, my guy. Do this every episode, but this is technically episode 11. But it's
10.
episode number 10. The digits. It's technically 11th time that we've convened to do this thing.
Because we started at the beginning.
And we've had guests for like the last little while.
Yeah, and I thought maybe we should do one, just get back to the roots.
Tonight is me and you. We kicked off winter. Check previous episodes. Winterizing for the win was the answer.
Yep, pretty good one.
And we did that one by ourselves and we did pretty good.
Thought so.
I thought we did well.
I mean, we've both done winter.
Feedback was positive. We didn't get we got 0 tow calls.
Nice.
Nobody came after us. Nobody said like I didn't have a blanket and I needed one. You didn't tell me.
Sure.
So I think like we kind of nailed it. So I
You
thought
ruined my life.
yeah. So I thought that we were like, capable and able to do this episode on our own, which is to get ready for the spring.
Get ready for spring.
Because we live in the mountains. We live in a state where we have seasons.
But I mean, really, we have like a couple weeks of spring and a couple weeks of fall. But the changeover from winter to summer, that's those 3-4 weeks of spring, a lot changes.
Yeah, well, in San Diego, we only had 2 seasons.
Right.
So it was June and the rest of the year.
Right.
So tonight is Spry for spring.
Ooh.
Spry for spring. Shout out to Bad Santa for bringing Spry back to the vernacular.
I feel pretty spry tonight.
Nice.
It's been a week.
A little froggy.
I'd like to congratulate you back at work.
Let's go.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's go. Back making it rain.
I figured you were kind of unemployable, but I was inaccurate.
I thought I was more employable than I turned out to be, which took longer than I thought. So,
well, good on you, man. I'm glad. I know it's been stressing you, and I know you're. It's a win.
no, we're back at it, and we got some side hustles that we picked up in the meantime. We got some personal projects off of the agenda. So
Did you
like
finally start that Foot Finder account, or
check the link below.
yeah, you can look at Jeff's toenails.
All right, well, here we are on the other side of 10 weeks of this thing. We're still friends,
Still friends.
to use your phrase. We're doing terrific.
We're doing terrific.
And shout out to the other person running side hustles, my co-host. May not be known to those outside of the valley or the Aspen local area,
Yeah,
but somebody making fucking waves.
buddy.
Waves.
Who would have thought?
Fully booked calendar we were talking about leading into this is a guy named DJ Double Wide.
Wah, wah, wah.
Also happens to be Casey, the co-host.
Yeah.
Threw down this Wednesday at Sterling, styled out
Oh, yeah.
like
Crushed.
I think at least hundreds more people than we have of our dozens listeners.
Yeah.
Some of them are overlapping though. I think some of our
Yeah,
listeners
for sure.
were at Sterling.
Well, we people like us.
Yeah, shout out to Sterling though. Those
Yeah.
guys are throwing a good party. Always down. Doesn't matter whether it's spring break, X Games.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
For sure.
Hey,
They're
that's-
always there. They're
Yep.
always doing the damn thing. But DJ Double White hosts a country night in Aspen. So if you're a country music fan,
Or
which makes sense.
or you just like girls.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
the girls love it.
They wear the best things.
They
too.
wear the best things.
Bring your Kimosabi hat from
Yep.
the afternoon to the night party.
Yeah.
DJ Double White. Throwing down a regular at the Sterling. Shout out to Sterling.
Yep.
A semi-regular at the Chola, which is like the local go-to. So
Yep.
shout out Chola. And just booked a gig coming to you next week at
Kimosabe.
Kimosabe. Which if you know, you know. If you don't, get
You need
here
to.
and figure it the F out.
Because they're well known. They're
They deal Vale, Aspen.
I think they don't,
Vegas?
I don't think they have the Vale one.
No, they closed Vale. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Vale sucks.
So somewhere in Texas,
Austin.
I think it's North Austin.
But Austin's like maybe their production.
But they do have a store there, obviously here in Aspen. Jackson Hole.
Oh.
And then I think Park City.
I bought a hat. That would make sense. Park City sounds right. I bought a hat there on 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
We were hanging out at Esco Patio. Shout out Escobar.
Yep.
Great summer hang on the walking mall in Aspen.
Here's the thing. If you,
I was wearing jean shorts
Same.
and I think a tank top.
Yep, same.
And I went in about a $500 hat or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. If you live in this town for very long, you just got to do it. You got to go
Yeah.
buy the fucking hat.
Yeah.
And if you visit here for even regularly, you got to go do it. It's just kind of it's a thing. A lot of people kind of make fun or joke around, but they're really good hats. Someone that's worn a cowboy hat most of my life. It's,
Yeah.
it's quality stuff. It's good stuff. And you pay a little bit more for the name, but you know what? You're in Aspen. It's fucking worth it. So,
And it's an experience. I have a full bar upstairs. Usually have like live music.
we were up
or
there for
something.
Patty's Day.
Yeah.
Oh man, just on one.
Was it?
It was packed.
Amazing.
And they were just throwing drinks around.
It's great.
And,
It's a great time.
yeah.
It's a cool experience. It's a full on Aspen thing.
Yeah.
I think Aspen probably does it better than any of the other locations.
would be my guess.
My guess. I've not been. I don't
Yeah.
mean to throw shade, but
But I mean, Aspen does everything better than everywhere else. And people hate on it. People are like, oh, Aspen,
Sorry, Dale.
whatever. You can't hang. Sorry.
But yeah, like the people that work there are like knowledgeable and passionate and like on point. and
Super
fun
nice,
and throw a
super
great
fun,
party.
Welcoming, like you don't feel awkward. You're not like, I'm a douchebag and a fake cowboy. If I get this hat, it's not like that at all. Like, go buy your fucking hat and wear it.
Although everybody that lives in town will think that you're a fake cowboy when you walk out of there with your hat.
I don't think that's
For a
true.
moment.
Here's my thing.
If you have your bag in hand,
Sure.
people are like,
Run home and put your bag away.
that just happened. Come on.
Yeah. Well, because everyone knows you probably just dropped a grand.
Yeah, also that, right.
But I
for
mean,
sure.
I hate this. I wear cowboy hats all the time, and I do not work on a ranch. I grew up on a farm, and I've done a lot of ranch work. But, are you a real cowboy? Well, are you the fucking cowboy police? Like, I like wearing cowboy hats.
Want to get at me about my socks also?
I like wearing cowboy
on.
boots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you a pro basketball player?
Yeah,
You're wearing
right.
Jordans.
You're wearing ankles?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, get out of here.
That's a good parallel to draw.
It's so stupid. Oh,
There
are you a pro yoga person? Because you're wearing yoga pants 24/7. Lazy fuck. Get dressed.
It's dressed. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I love
It
it.
drives me nuts.
That is
Anyway.
good. Nice, dude. All right. So again, as we're running lean today, this is not a detriment to the program. It's just a fact of like we've improved operational efficiencies.
Sure.
We've elevated our prep game. So tonight, no production crew, no guest, and we're gonna bring it.
And we didn't even open the doors for our live studio audience. We're just we're sitting
Yeah.
here solo.
Yeah.
So I mean, get ready, people. Buckle the fuck up because this is going to be a serious one.
You're welcome.
You're
welcome. And we're gonna
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Can I
So
pet that down?
now we're talking.
Pet that dog. Pet that dog.
Nice. I bet that dog.
Can I pet that dog.
Love it. Look up your memes, people. All right. So winterizing for the win. Here we are. We got through the winter. Like you're not a big winter guy, so we went
No, I
from
hate the winter.
you hate it because it's like 4 hours of daylight. We just had daylight savings time.
Game changer.
Now we have sprung into spring, so we're going to talk about tips,
What
tricks,
What is the
autonos, with just our forecasts.
we only changed the clock an hour, but it really feels like a 3-hour swing.
I know. What's great though is like I did some research on this. I feel better about this than I ever have in my entire life.
Okay.
I always thought it was like some cranky farmers that were like bitching about.
Sure.
Anyway,
It was during the war, right?
everyone knows farmers have the biggest lobby crew.
Sure, yeah.
DC.
Farmers carry so much weight.
Actually, in Germany, they made shit happen.
Oh, yeah.
And the EU, they actually did throw
Yeah,
some weight
yeah.
around. So we can't really joke about that. But we'll get to that. It's on the agenda for the program.
Mhm.
But let's stay in line. So I think that it's appropriate to share, like, all right, we've talked about growing up in the Midwest, and that's kind of like some of our affinity to each other, just the familiarity with growing up with that lifestyle. But we all know that I spent some time in SoCal.
Sure.
And I was mentioning to you jokingly at the top of the call that we had 2 seasons, June and the rest of the year.
Right.
But it really was crazy. Like there was this like weather phenomenon called June gloom. And it was like late May through like early July. Sometimes it would even like roll over like 4th of July weekend.
Oh, no.
And like we all knew as San Diegans, like we're growing up in SoCal.
Relax, it's coming back.
Yeah, but also like get the F out of town because like nobody wants to be in like a tourist.
So when you say the gloom, it's just like a rainy.
It's like a marine layer that just hovers over the sky.
Because I'm unfamiliar, I never heard of this.
No, it's a good point, actually. I was just being a little too assumptive. So most of like beach areas will have like a marine layer that will burn off as the sun comes up and warms and like atmospheric conditions shift.
Right.
And generally that burns off depending on where you're at, like by 10 to noon.
Sure.
If you're in San Francisco, it may never burn off for months.
Well,
but
we get that out here too. We'll get like early morning rain and then the sun will burn.
Or like the morning, or the morning, like the mountains socked in, and then as the day warms up, then conditions shift. But it's more prominent at the beach.
It makes sense.
And
because of the ocean.
But like in June gloom, like it just never lifts.
Right.
And it can be more pronounced because like in areas where there's bigger smog or pollution, like LA, there's just more heavy particles that like weigh.
And that's so crazy that it like happens in the same time because like when I think of June, I'm like, all right, summer.
Oh, well, that's what's crazy is I always used to feel bad for people that would like come to SoCal because you could see families running out to the beach on day one for like this Baywatch experience of like, I'm gonna paddle out, it's gonna be great, girls are gonna be in bikinis, and we're gonna skateboard the boardwalk. And it's just like you don't see the sun for the 7 days in which you are there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's like that. And most locals, like, San Diego's not really a resort town, but it is similar. It's not dissimilar to Aspen in the sense that like Memorial Day, I did not want to be in San Diego.
Right.
I would get the F out of town.
Sure.
It'd be the perfect time to go for a road trip and go somewhere else because everybody was coming. It kicked off summer.
Right.
Same thing for 4th of July. But also, like, I was a fair weather surfer, so I would only surf like July, August, September when the water would warm up. And so people would come out and want to do like surf school or bodyboarding or something like that. And the water was just still so cold.
In June.
Yeah. Because not that it ever gets really that cold comparative to like what we have running through the valley here, where like
it was snow 6 hours ago.
Cold plunges in our water.
But like in August.
But in San Diego, like it'd be, you'd need a rash guard. You'd need maybe a wetsuit, depending on how sensitive you were, and like maybe like a thicker wetsuit.
Well, probably time of the year, tide, all that stuff.
And and the currents and like warm water flows and exactly, whale migrations and other like important signs.
Butterflies, effects.
Effects. Movies about set topics.
Right,
Anything. But yeah, it was kind of like I felt kind of bad because people would be there and like like
did you just want to like stand at the beach and be like, guys,
I wish I
turn around.
I wish I could offer you a refund.
You should have called me a couple weeks ago. I'd let you know.
Like in Griswold, the Chevy Chase.
Park's closed.
Yeah. When they get to the Wally World.
Sorry, kids.
Park's closed.
And then punches the fucking thing in the nose. Oh my god.
Or you just be like Cartman in South Park and buy the entire
park
and just run it off.
Well, I mean, it's so funny that that is how this town is.
Yeah.
Because it's like ski season, Highlands closing day, everyone leaves.
It's funny, don't you feel sad? I kind of feel sad for people sometimes when they're here like in the middle of May. And like we're gonna alienate some listeners, but we might have already done that, but like, it's like you couldn't afford to be here during ski season. And so but like, it's a completely different experience if you're here on like X Games weekend
Sure.
or Palm Tree Fest.
But I would
When
argue
town is vibrant and energized,
I would argue that the locals like that.
you don't have to argue that point
Right.
because you know that this is my favorite time
Yes.
of the year.
Like, I love closing day, but to me, it's like opening day if I get my town back for a couple months.
So we'll dive into like an agenda item.
Sure.
Or like a topic of talk for the day, which is like slated for later, but it's a nice.
Well, let's
segue.
push like closing day for a minute.
Like I was gonna say off season for
Sure.
a second. For those that like don't live in seasonal places like San Diego,
Mhm.
right? You don't really even know if it's like, I mean, you know, February is a winter month and you would presume that like August is a summer or fall
Right.
month. But like you don't notice it
Sure.
based on sunset, sunrise, or like even activity.
Population.
What you wear, or like, yeah, ebb and flow of like
Mhm.
density of people around
Sure.
you.
Traffic.
But we definitely do.
Oh, 100%. It's a different town.
Yeah, it is a different town, and like effectively for those outside of Aspen, like Aspen shuts down from roughly mid-April. This year, closing day for Ajax is April 21st.
I think that's Snowmass Ajax.
No, Snowmass is the week before
So Aspen Mountain is the 21st.
first. It's the last.
Highlands is the party though. That's
week
the
before.
7th.
Yeah, and that's
And then so is it Highlands, Snowmass, then Ajax?
correct. And Buttermilk Bacon Appreciation Day,
Which is a big deal.
the week before, March 31st. Yeah.
So next week.
All right, so hold on, we're jumping around, but we gotta start there. Closing days are important in a mountain town.
Because it's parties.
And we have, well, it's
Slash-
also important because it's like a send off to Uller and it's like an appreciation
Sure.
for a great season and
And ski
everyone.
patrol.
You get your 100-day pens, you get
Are you getting it?
celebrate with your friends. Today was 91.
Today was 91, so you're looking good.
9 more to go. Yeah, we got a little disruption with the Dallas trip for a great wedding, and then anyway.
When do you we'll talk about it.
Anticipated April 4th or 5th to hit 100 days.
Got it.
Yeah.
So before Highlands closing.
Well ahead of time, and I had some injuries to deal with, but like the kid's still crushing. Like,
Right.
gonna get it. This will be my 4th year.
Is your job gonna get in the way of this?
No,
Okay.
no. 4th year in a row. And I'm still crushing at my job, by the way, for anybody who's listening. I crushed training this week. 4th year in a row, 5th year overall,
100 days.
100 days.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
run.
proud of you.
There are some days that are hard to get out.
I can't even imagine.
There's some days where you don't wanna get off the couch, you
I
don't
have-
wanna get dressed.
I do. I
And you don't
that
wanna
are.
pull on the gear, the conditions are gnarly.
There's a lot of Sundays where I don't put pants on.
Dude, there are.
There's a lot of Sundays where it's me and the dog and sweatpants and
And I'll tell you this year, this is my 10th year in Aspen. We're
Sure.
talking about Aspen Porch Sit, remind me, you're 17 in?
yeah,
Yeah, so, this is my 10th year.
we'll be.
Ski
I'll be 18
season.
this October.
It's 9 calendar years, 10th ski season. And this has been one of the most brutal ones. Like, this is the first year I
Oh,
felt,
just
my age, like
Mhm.
I was fighting my body, so I had some injuries that I was like trying to push through, but like still going out of the mountain every day.
I gotta be honest with you, dude. I think it's a head thing too. Not working.
Yeah,
I think that's in your head because, like, you know, you don't have a routine, and I don't know about you, but like I'm a routine guy,
yeah,
and throughout the week, you tell me what time it is, and I can probably give you a good idea of where I'm at and what I'm doing.
yeah,
And and when you took some time off, and that you fall out of the routine, so it's a struggle to get the fuse lit, get the engine running.
no, it's a good mention, yeah, although I did feel, in that same vein, I did feel like more energized and better this week, having some of that structure, but there was still some of that residual rollover of like, can you meet tomorrow at noon, does that work for you? I'm like, I'll click maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing. dude.
know.
I have nothing to do,
Oh, wait.
but I don't know what I'm
actually,
doing.
I do have something
Right.
new.
Yeah.
Work, yeah.
Now,
now.
But
I know.
3 weeks ago,
Totally, yes, I know. So-
and when you talk about the gloom, the June gloom, whatever,
Yeah,
I get that at the time change. Like I'm a sunlight guy,
yeah.
and because I
I know you were pouty pants when it changed in November and you're like, good luck in the darkness for the next 4 months.
Oh my-
People, I think
dude,
you even had a Facebook post
Yeah,
like that.
it ruins my life, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck you. I don't want to drive home from work in the dark. I have an 85 Chevy truck that has the worst headlights ever.
Right.
It'd be better with just curb feelers and hopes and dreams.
For sure. And when you live in the mountains, like the sunlight, the limited sunlight
It goes away early
it's
anyway.
compromised
Yeah.
even more so.
I mean, you don't see sunsets here.
Yeah.
The sun goes behind the mountain and then it's dark.
Well, you do see sunsets here. They're amazing. You just got to be in the right.
Right. You gotta be on top of a mountain.
You gotta be in the right positioning, and when you live in a mountain town, because you would think if you live in the mountains that you're like always on the mountain, but
You're not.
You're not.
You're in the valley.
Sometimes you're mostly
You're below the mountain.
Yeah,
You're under the mountain.
You're mostly in the shade of the mountain.
Totally.
Yeah.
But no, man, when the time changes back,
Yeah.
for me, it's like, woohoo! Let's go.
You feel more alive this
Totally.
podcast. Yeah.
I lose weight. My hair gets longer.
He got better looking
I
since
did.
the last podcast.
I did.
can tell you. The
My
skin's
dick gets a
hydrated.
little longer. Like it's impressive.
Is that possible?
No.
All right, so we're in a seasonal town, so we've talked a little bit about the weather.
Let's bring up for people that might be coming here, maybe for closing day, or maybe they do want that.
Let's go back to the closing thing. Yeah, like about like how town shuts the F down.
It does. So Jen and I got an argument with this. Do some of the hotels close?
Yeah, for sure.
See, that's what she
Yeah,
said.
like Little No closes for like 2 weeks.
And she said Jerome also closes for like a week or two.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I don't stay in hotels because I live here. But so that's something to think about if you're coming here.
Yeah.
Population gets cut in half, maybe more.
Oh, by like
70%.
I mean, 80% of the locals are out of town. One
Sure.
of my favorite conversations to have with other locals is like, what are you gonna do for
where
off
are you
season?
going?
And I get to say, I'm not going anywhere.
Because this is the time that I cherish.
My favorite
Yeah.
time of the year to be in Aspen.
100%.
Because you actually get to, for 12 weeks of the year, 6 weeks in the spring, 6 weeks in the fall.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
got
think
compromised a little bit in COVID,
Sure.
but I think
it's getting
last season,
smaller.
last year. Yeah, it's definitely being compromised, it's definitely being shortened, but it's still a very real thing.
No, it's
There's like the month of May and the month of October.
It's like if you have a roommate and then your roommate goes on vacation for a month and you can just walk around without pants on.
Yeah, stack dishes. If you
Yeah,
want.
there's no rules.
Yeah, just leave the TV on.
Yeah.
Put whatever music you want. You can in Aspen. The equivalent to that is you can walk down the middle of the street.
Oh, yeah.
You can do all your Instagram photos of like, look at me at the base of Aspen.
Well, and you know how they call
Without
it.
holding up holiday traffic and like
You know how they call it like mud season,
yeah,
but it's really not.
fun season.
And I call it like it's you can do whatever.
I
you
love
want.
it.
And-
Well, they closed Zane's. Shout out Zane's, one of my favorite like local eateries. It's a like pub spot,
Well, like Silver
great
City.
sports bar. But hold on, they closed down for like 2 weeks to do cleaning,
Sure.
upgrade equipment, like do all the things, give the employees a little bit of a breath, and it also gives me like a good beat. Like,
2 weeks to stop eating fried food.
like, bro, cook at home.
Yeah,
all
cook
right?
at home.
Yeah, do some bacon.
Do some chicken without skin on it. Fucking loser.
So I appreciate it. It's good for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a large reset for the
Jeff also loses about 5
all
pounds
of
during off
people,
season.
all of people.
But like a lot of places don't close. Silver City will stay open.
Nice,
I
yeah.
think Sterling will likely do just like they'll be open like Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
All right.
Um,
Limited hours. Yeah.
limited hours. Some of the rest like Steakhouse always stays
Yeah,
open.
those guys run.
And that's a great thing. Is like you can walk into Steakhouse.
It's
without
the
a
best
ride.
restaurant in town.
It's the best restaurant in town.
Shout out Steak 360.
Oh, yeah.
You guys really are the best restaurant.
And you can walk in, bar seat throughout entire
Yeah,
dinner service.
for sure.
They know you're a local,
And the bar service is phenomenal
Phenomenal.
there. Those guys are great.
and you're going to sit down next to somebody that you know.
Yeah. Or will know by the
Or
end.
will know. You'll definitely know by the
Will
end.
know by the end.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's great. I genuinely love it. The mud. They call it mud season, and it kind of sounds like it's bad, but I really don't think it's bad.
What is mud? Because like, you know, like
The snow's melting.
Well, we also need to like give a little local awareness. Like it's not the best time to come here to go hiking or mountain biking. Because you will erode trails, you will kind of disrupt the natural flow
Sure.
kind of the restorative process of winter becoming
I
spring.
will say this, if you're coming here to fish, if you
High
catch,
time.
it's not bad if you get here early in mud. So if you get here like April, early May,
Yeah,
because runoff does happen. And typically when runoff happens, it's usually early June. The rivers get kind of blown out. So if you're coming here to raft,
what's
that's
blown out? Hold on, for
it gets
does
dirty.
that mean dirty?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. The banks get big, the water gets big. It's by far the best time to come out and raft because it's
right, but it's a lot of agitation, which is like bad for fishing.
Exactly. The fish
Yeah.
typically hide. You don't get me wrong, you can still catch fish during runoff. And I don't think we're gonna have a crazy runoff this year. It just depends on what the weather.
No.
Well, we got a lot of snow up high, but really runoff is more about, do we have like a week of 80-degree weather, or do we have like a slow gradual warming? So like if runoff happens all at once, the river gets huge and super dirty and fishing can be a challenge.
Yeah.
But if we have a kind of a more kind of slow, moderate runoff, the water will get big, but it won't get quite as dirty. It fishes a little better, and then the rafting or kayaking or whatever you're doing will last a little longer.
This is relevant for fishing specifically because like we live in like the what is it called, the Golden Valley?
No, so we have 3 gold medal waters, which means X amount of fish per X amount of miles
Cubic
of water.
feet of
Right.
water,
Yeah.
whatever.
But I mean, basically, you're going to, these rivers, you can fish from Aspen to Glenwood, or from Redstone to Glenwood, or from Crystal, the town of Crystal, to Glenwood. And there's going to be like a lot of fish.
Yeah, but there's a lot of fish.
Like the most fish in any river in the country. But I will say this, because of that, the fish get a lot of fishing pressure. So the fish have seen a lot of fishermen. So the fish can be hard
as they go
to
down
catch.
river.
Well, no, they
They
typically
get smarter as they're
no, negative.
No.
The fish live in the same stretch of water their entire lives.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, some will get, you know.
I just thought you started in Illinois and ended up in the Pacific.
No. Negative.
Or the Gulf or like whatever.
So for the listeners, Jeff isn't a real big fly fisherman out here.
Mostly lakes. I grew up in Bull Shoals, Arkansas. Like,
No,
you know what I mean?
the
The catfish were fucking relegated to
pond.
the dam side of the lake.
No, I mean
It's a big pond. They call it a lake, but it's a big
it's
pond.
big pond. It's big pond. Lake is like Lake Michigan. Everything that's not Lake Michigan is a big pond. No,
I just realized my childhood's been tainted in ways that I did not realize.
not even the creepy uncle ways.
Well,
So
in better ways.
better ways. No, I mean, a lot of the fish in these rivers are native. I would say probably a third, but 2/3 of the fish in these rivers are stocked fish. And
Yeah, well, the stock thing makes more sense.
it does. But I mean, and they
So they just like swim upstream against the current
fish.
and just hang tight.
I would say they probably live. I don't know. I'm not like a fish scientist.
Again, as you guys
check your facts.
Listen to this episode.
But my guess is that the fish that are born within the same, I don't know, 2-mile stretch of river live in that same 2-mile stretch of river, if not less. Could be more like a mile.
Do they ever go ashore and look for it?
No.
Just look
Stretch
at
around, have some walks. They
set up a little camp.
No, they typically live in the same section of water. But what I'm saying is,
wild.
because we do have such a high fish population, people come out here to fish.
Yeah,
Well, it's been happening forever, so
Yeah.
these fish see a lot of
Yeah.
fishermen.
right.
So like you got to
And
be
if you're
doing,
hanging in an environment, then you know.
and you get to know your environment.
It's kind of like me being on the mountain with spring breakers the last couple of weeks
Oh god.
because it's head on a swivel because we live here, we're locals,
'Cause
we
it's
know
just-
we know what we're doing.
It's just drunk
And all of a
nuggets
sudden,
getting thrown at you the entire day.
all of a sudden, I see these galoshes stomping into the stream
Yeah.
that I haven't seen in a while. I'm like, Mama, I think he's trying to hook us.
Spring break is a real thing.
Oh,
And
Alright, so let's talk about that for a second, because this is a real thing in a mountain town.
Totally.
Especially this year.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, maybe 3.
I think it's
And it's revolving. It's like college spring breaks, high school spring breaks, and like
sure.
elementary.
So it's like families spring breaks.
Yes.
And then it's like
All the bros.
and then college spring break is really the best / worst. Because I'm 44 and I go
Define best, because
Well, I mean,
I'm pressed to find the upside in this.
it's busy.
Yeah,
So people are,
it's good for Jenna.
but the thing is they're used to drinking at college bars.
Yeah,
So they don't necessarily tip very well.
no.
So I mean the restaurants do volume, but they don't make a lot of money.
Well, we know, as we've talked about on this episode, on this podcast, it's not a volume city.
This is a quality.
It's been definitely changing. Quality is eroded and volume has never been serviced, so. All right, we'll keep speaking on it.
Anyway.
Accentuate that point though, this is not a volume city.
Yeah.
Like, and we talked about this on the X Games episode.
Sure.
Where it was just like too much BS for like not enough.
Well, I mean, do you feel this is what I feel like. I feel like we go out after the podcast and we go to, Jenna's bar. We end up at Sterling usually. And usually I feel like we're in the medium age. There's a lot of like mid 30s to mid 40s, early 50s people.
Yeah.
A lot of dual income, no kids, a lot of trust funders, a lot of athletes, especially this time of year, different sports wind down.
That's the dynamic of Aspen.
Oh.
Pretty generally.
Yeah.
Though.
But like last weekend when we went out, I felt like one of the oldest guys at the bar.
Did you?
Yeah, because it was like everyone was like 22, 21, 23. And I was like, and
who doesn't belong?
Right.
Should I leave?
Well, no, but
or should I stay here? And
it was so funny because like normally it's like, half the bar. Or half the club, half the restaurant, wherever you're at.
Right.
And it was so funny because it was like the locals were like over here in the corner, and then the rest was like spring breakers. And
that's true.
We were just like standing around looking at each other, being like,
we're
wow.
kind of like relegated to a corner, a quarter of the bar.
And then like I'm ridiculously good looking, and so I'm getting hit on by these like 21, 22-year-old girls. I'm like, all right,
I know.
Okay, fine. No, I'm like, I'm married and I'm old enough to be your dad.
Well, it's also why we don't do video on this podcast,
Right.
because like we would not be able to keep up with the demand.
No, it would
And
be
like Jenna would feel pressure.
she would feel pressure. She already does, but
Well, she's the hottest person in the relationship, so like you don't have to like, reciprocate and like
right.
present her, and then like you're divorced
And then it's a thing. And then next thing you know, I'm on OnlyFans and it's just
doing feet
right. Doing feet stuff, and it's a slippery slope. Speaking of slippery slopes.
My God, you're the best. This is why we started this podcast, this conversation derailments just like that. All right. Did you do spring break when you were in college?
No.
I know you were there for a semester. But during that semester, was it a spring semester?
That entire semester was a spring break.
Nice. All right.
I had a 4-month spring break, and
because you were there to watch your sister, basically.
Basically, I was there pulling security.
For those of you that are loyal listeners, you know this background story, but Casey went to college. Casey was a phenomenal athlete, but like
not a good student.
Well, it was just more suited for other things, I think.
School didn't keep my attention.
You're doing a good job of like you studentizing your podcast uptake. I think it's great.
Anyway,
so what do you mean anyway?
Digress.
You're looking at notes that I typed for you.
I know. Well, I want to talk about some travel stuff.
On one setup that I did.
I want this to have some value, some content.
We have so much content to go. Take us there. Good transition.
Traveling during spring. Like you said earlier, hiking, mountain biking, it's off the table. If you're coming out here to do activities.
What do you change in the back of your car for spring?
Change your fucking snow tires.
Oh God, that's the worst, isn't that?
Oh my God. The studded snow tires.
Dry pavement.
It's like, come on. Also, you're gonna kill your snow tires.
Yeah, you're gonna ruin
them.
Right.
Because they're designed to work in a temperature.
Do you take that to like they go and they just do that for you for free?
Yes.
Like swap out your old, bring in your new.
I mean, pro move is to have 2 sets of wheels and just keep
of course
your winter tires and your summer tires and keep them.
That's what I'm saying. Do you just pop the summer tires in the car take them to Big O, and they pop them on, pop them off?
I mean, if you're a
What does that
man,
cost? What does that take? Well, if you're a man, like, what do you mean? Do you would like jack up your car,
Yeah, jack
all
up your
four
car,
sides, pop them off,
change tires.
and then change the
Yeah.
tires? Yeah,
wheels and tires.
that's like wheels would be on the tires would be on the wheels.
Right, but a lot of people, you'd be surprised, they just have tires, winter tires, summer tires.
You can't do that at home.
You can't do that. I mean, I can.
You could.
No, I have a tire machine.
Well, you have the machine. Yeah.
Right, but yeah.
Even you, as skilled as you are, couldn't do that without the machine.
No. I mean, you could, but you wouldn't.
Jesus, what does that look like?
It's ugly. No, it's like you have to have a second
Crowbar and right.
You have to have a second jack, and you jack up the car on the edge of the tire to break the bead, and then you have like 3 foot long tire irons and
Shout out Big O.
Yeah.
We're sending a business.
or discount
All
tire.
right, whether they're on rims and tires or just tires. Yeah.
Anyway, change your get
Yeah.
your snow tires off.
Get off the tires.
Also, like they're kind of dangerous. They on dry, warm days, the rubber compound is so soft that they get like loose and kind of greasy.
It feels like the problem that you have on the mountain with like warming snow. Where you have like
slush.
like trolls that
Yeah.
just like grab you. It feels like
Totally.
at home.
It gets like grabby.
Yeah.
So first thing, change your tires. Second thing,
I like it. Nice.
we are there's gonna be wet roads for 3 weeks. So wiper blades and wiper fluid, because it's gonna be spray coming off the roads. Because all the ice, the snow is melting, it's running onto the roads.
Always, yeah. So if like make sure your fluids is full,
And then have a gallon in your car.
for sure.
And
And have $4 to buy a gallon at the next stop.
now it's more like 7. And buy the Rain-X brand cleaner because it's the best. And then wiper blade.
So,
Here's the other thing.
Like that.
They use cinder.
yeah, because your
ground-
wiper blades are probably ground down because they've been frozen to the windshield at least 2 or 3 times.
Quit being a cheap ass. Get wiper blades every year.
It's also spend $60
Do it.
per season.
yeah.
So
Get wiper blades every year.
Yeah.
Just do it. Also, this is the time of year with rocks on the road. We're gonna have mudslides.
Oh, yeah, we just found a huge crack of my windshield. Yep.
So we're gonna have there's gonna be gravel, there's gonna be debris, there's gonna be all kinds of crap on the roads, on the shoulders of the roads, because the plow trucks, they're always spraying crap. So if you got a crack in your windshield, suck it up till June. Before
your insurance resets
Right.
from your last crack.
from your last windshield. Colorado, it's a windshield a year. Just know it, do it. Buy windshield insurance, pay $50. But yeah, and also too, like pretty much we've had a big mudslide in the canyon just about every year for the last 5 or 6
Talking
years.
about the Glenwood Springs Canyon.
Glenwood
which is
Springs
the
Canyon.
thoroughfare from like anywhere west of Colorado to Denver or anywhere east of Colorado. Like,
Yeah.
So you got to go through this channel.
If you want to get to Glenwood Springs on I-70 from the east, you're going there.
You're
And if you want to go
or
east
vice versa.
out of Glenwood Springs, you're going through there.
And major slides and more prominent in recent years or more of a consideration in recent years because of the freaking fire that we had.
The fire.
And I say freaking fire because of how it started, tabled that latter part. But like there's like young vegetation, no vegetation.
No vegetation.
So like there's just nothing. So when it rains, it literally just slides.
Yeah, for the listeners that don't know, we had a big fire through Glenwood Canyon 4 years ago.
What was they call it? Not Clear. Was it Clear Creek?
Something along those lines. But anyway, we had a big fire that went through Glenwood Canyon and like at the worst spot in the canyon.
Everything.
So now all of the vegetation that held the ground together
Yeah.
is gone.
Yeah.
So they've been doing as much as they can as far as rock mitigation and whatnot. But fact of the matter is, there's a shit ton of snow, and as it melts, it creates these little like creek stream things in areas where there never were, and it washes the dirt away, which then eventually moves big ass rocks. And when I say big ass rocks, I mean like the size of cars and houses.
Yeah, like serious damage.
Couple years ago, we had a rock literally crash through the interstate. They put a hole in the interstate the size of a dump truck.
And it's the only way through.
And it's
the only way through.
you can go over Cottonwood Pass if you're like the first 4 or 5 people, but then eventually someone's gonna fuck that up too.
But if you're
And
an
it's
asthma, you can't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're also like, I don't know, a bad driver in a rental
If you're
car, you
totally, if you're pulling a trailer,
yeah.
unless you know what
It's
the
not
fuck you're
ideal.
doing, yeah, you don't want to. And so then you got to go up and around. You got to go up to
Well, the
Steamboat.
Serpent Navigate. Oh, remember when we were coming back from Junction
Mhm.
and we did that thing and we were like, they almost rerouted us. This was for a different. This was not a weather related thing. But
No, I think it was a
there
fire.
There was some closure.
Yeah, I think it was a fire.
And they tried to reroute us, and we were like, hard no. And we were like,
We
at least
know the
knew
back roads. Yeah.
we at least knew enough to like dip around.
And also, we were in a 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, but like we didn't need the 4-wheel.
We didn't need it, but it was there.
Yeah. Hard right.
0 chance.
Oh, he's gone.
It's a road. I will drive this bitch down the river. We are. There is 0 chance I'm taking a 6-hour detour.
I remember that moment, and you were driving. I was sitting in the back right, and we were like had a momentary debate of like, do you think what do we do? And immediately reconciled, and we're like, nope, flip it. Going back.
Back road.
Yeah, and I think like the CHP. Well, that's California Highway Patrol, but like
Colorado Highway Patrol.
I know, it's interchangeable. It seems. They were like, go this way. And we're like,
no, I was like, I'm going just right over there.
Yeah,
Like, okay, you can go through. And I was like, not going there. Totally going right by that bitch. Yeah.
Yes.
0 chance.
Very well played. It saved us probably 6 hours of travel time.
100%.
Like literally 6 hours.
They were gonna send us up to Steamboat, then back down to the interstate, and then back through the canyon.
Bruh.
Yeah, no, 0 chance.
Anyway, so as we advise in the winter, always check the roads, check for opens of passes, and check for
Also, don't blindly follow MapQuest or your
MapQuest.
or
What the fuck is
not
it?
map, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The iMaps. What's the map app on your phone?
I mean, 25% of the
Or Google
world
Maps?
uses iPhone. The rest of us use Google Maps.
All right, whatever. Do not blindly follow that shit because it will send you over Cottonwood Pass.
No, check CDOT, check your local stuff.
And also, like, even if it,
Cottonwood Pass is not a favorable way to go.
I love it, but
It's beautiful
Yeah.
if you just have for a summer drive.
so, but anyway, you're not taking a camper remote. Dude, do you remember when they had the canyon closed and they were sending, what's that? It's a Jeep road. It's like a 4-wheel drive, 35-inch tire lockers, and you're probably gonna need a winch. And they were diverting traffic. They were like minivans and RV campers stuck on this fucking Jeep
What?
trail.
Really?
Yeah, it's the one.
Oh my goodness.
It's the back way if you want to
Like
go.
up Meredith behind
like
Red
yeah.
Root Eye if you go through like
Well, they were also sending people up over Taylor. So like if you were like down in Crested Butte and coming here, and they were trying to send people up over
Taylor's more manageable than the other one there.
No. Taylor's the one where you gotta drive through the creek for like a mile.
We talked about I think I could have my car there.
I don't think you could.
All right, well
Anyway,
to be tabled, folks.
to be tabled.
All right, so spring break travel. Have you actually done a spring break trip?
Never.
No? No South Padre Island.
Baghdad.
Yeah. What's that like?
In spring break, it's hot, it's dirty, it's dangerous. It's
That's why it's so cheap.
entertaining.
That's why it's so cheap.
It's hard to get drunk.
Sea level or just
Hard to get booze.
Not booze. Oh, hard to get booze. Muslim country.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
Racky.
Racky. That's funny. I pictured you for like
No.
I don't know,
Also,
like a
like-
reflective sunglasses South Miami Beach guy.
Sure. Shorty shorts. Let's go.
Yeah, some hot pink like
That's me, man. Some zinc on the nose.
when we get video on this, you guys will know that this is not Casey.
No, never. Also, even if, like, I never even would have had the money to go on spring break.
What? Really?
No. Like, when I was in the military, I was working, so I had money. But like, you don't really take. I did Mardi Gras once. Was that
like
kind of spring break?
you I guess you were in the military like as soon as you were like out of high school, right?
19.
So you had 0 spring breaks where you weren't enlisted.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a completely different vibe.
Mhm.
Oh. All right.
So like I never
It's like
really.
South Padre Island,
No.
Fort Lauderdale.
No, I did. Like I said, I did.
Daytona.
The
Probably
college.
while you're still alive, even though you were in Iraq.
I don't know. I feel like it would have been way more dangerous for me to South Padre. 100%. I would say for him Baghdad.
I agree. I know him. He's not wrong. He's speaking the truth.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd
Well,
definitely die on spring break.
well, since we don't have notes to compare on that, I'll just share that. I grew up in San Diego, or I was in San Diego for
Mhm.
like all of my adult spring breaks, and did some Rosarito, Ensenada, which is like Baja California, like an hour south,
Always want to go.
an hour south of San Diego. And it was pretty like college party-esque,
Sure.
you know, it was like mostly kids from like SD
Like
that would
fruity
go,
drinks
and-
getting blacked out.
Oh, pina coladas and like, but street tacos and phone parties. And
Sure.
like,
Jeff, my life is
well,
spring break.
tequila shots.
Right.
I know, you know.
Yours
Shout out
is-
to K Foy. We live your vacation.
We live your vacation.
Yeah, that's the best.
Your
part.
vacation is my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah. Call back to that. Although one spring break that I did had a little different flavor, and I just want to mention that because I mentioned Baja. We have an affinity for bikes.
Mhm.
You, I think, more street than me.
I mean,
But you
bikes
like
and street
both,
bikes.
but I don't really have any street bike
Sure.
experience. Like I'm mostly dirt bikes. Grew up like kind of motocross
Uh-huh.
and like definitely the San Diego scene of FMX. So one of the things you could do, like just 4 or 5 hours drive from San Diego, was like a place called San Felipe.
Okay. Oh yeah, they run the Baja out of there.
They run the Baja out of there. On the way to that from San Diego is Ocotillo Wells, which is some hard pack,
Mhm.
like real trail riding, but like
red
mountains
clay?
open. Yeah, not red clay, but like hard dirt.
Hard dirt.
Hard dirt, but like no trees.
Sure.
But there's trails, so you can ride tracks and find jumps and hits and
Sure.
these kinds of
So
things.
it's not like paddle tire situation.
And then before that is paddle tire situation, which is Glamis,
Glamis.
which is like a sand dune.
And I feel like Glamis is pretty well known. Anyone
Yeah.
that does anything motorsports has heard of Glamis.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Glamis, by the way, on like Thanksgiving,
Amazing.
New Year's Eve, Halloween, absolutely Mad Max situation, like an incredible experience. You're
Drunks
rolling
on
by-
overpowered desert
You're
vehicles.
rolling by in $100,000 sand rail
Right.
with 100-foot flame burning next to you, and people are sending it up like 100-foot.
Oh yeah, 50 and jumps like
with
jumping
an
shit.
incline of like all of the FMX greats.
Sure. If you don't know Glamis, start looking
Look it
at
up.
YouTube Glamis videos.
And then sign up for the podcast because it's right up our alley.
Yes.
The last thing I'll mention about spring break is just, well, I've already said it. So they really talk about it. It's been a head on a swivel for the last 2 weeks, dude. I've never felt more like I was going to get hurt
Yeah.
on the mountain than I have for the last
The
2 weeks.
town is busy,
Crazy.
but like the spring break couple weeks, because you've got these invincible 21, 22-year-old kids.
Good call. I didn't even think about that part of it.
I mean, like what? How
They're
big of
just-
a piece
they're
of shit?
signed
were
up
you?
to sin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was a giant piece of shit when I was that age. Like I wouldn't have trusted me with a lawnmower when I was 20 years old. The government trusted me with a Humvee, which was their mistake. But yeah,
I thought I was good back then. I thought I was like a more responsible 21-year-old.
then you were. You feel like you were more responsible then than you are now.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, I think that like our generation was.
Sure. Yeah, no, for sure.
generation.
No, I wouldn't say responsible. I would say respectful.
Yes.
I had respect. So like I wasn't like
True.
I wasn't a dick
No, but I,
to people. Jeff's making himself another cocktail.
I still have
kind of
res-
heart failing.
I still have respect. And that's what's crazy. That's a really good
But the
call.
kids that are here now are like they're fucking dumbasses.
I definitely like I'll
Does
even
that
I'll
makes
even
me sound like
speed I'll even speed check. I'll pull off a run where I'm like, I'm gonna hit this line.
Mhm.
And I'm like Jones into like, I'm gonna cut here, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna jump there, I'm
But
gonna
do
land
stuff.
here, I'm gonna
Right.
switch this way. And then I see like ski school instructor or family of four, like drop in and I'm
30
like,
points.
and I'm like, oh, no, the opposite. I'm like, I mean, old me would have been like, yeah, bonus points, or I want to buzz the tower.
Sure.
I do like,
I can jump that kid.
I do
I
like,
can pet that down. I can pet that down.
I do like taking off next to somebody who's unassuming, who's like standing in the wrong spot, and they're like right by the lip, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna get as close to you as I can without like endangering either of us.
But I'm gonna tap you with my board.
And you're gonna be standing there looking for your 7-year-old to come down the mountain, or your husband who's coming out of the trees, and all of a sudden this guy just goes flying by you and launches like a little bit out. Yeah.
Well, also too, getting back to like the spring breaker kids, like they're 21, they're 22. They've probably snowboarded 20 times.
Well, also
20
5 days this year.
Right, exactly.
Also,
So like in their life, they're 21 years old and they started going when they were 5 and they did a weekend with their family every year.
yeah.
Here's the thing, bud. You're not as good as you think that you are.
Right.
Because you don't do 100 days a year.
Yeah.
And so
no, but I have space for that. I love that people are out. I love that people
Absolutely.
are doing the thing.
Absolutely.
But also, I just wish that like the ski instructors would like tell you to stop in a safe place. That they would coach you to like.
I wish they would
all
just
the
say like these
conditions.
runs are for kids on spring break.
Totally.
You guys
Actually,
just,
it doesn't.
yeah, just stay over here.
In March,
Do whatever the fuck you
in
want.
March we have
Do it
red
over
runs.
here.
So generally, we only have greens, which are beginners,
Right.
blues, which are
Intermediate.
intermediate, and then black double black EXL. There needs to be like a red zone where like these 3 runs are where we funnel.
This
all
blue is
our-
for you guys, these greens are for you guys, and then like this one black is for you guys.
It's a pretty good idea, dude.
And you guys just have a fucking time.
Alright.
No pants dance off.
All right,
Do it.
I like it. I think we covered that efficiently.
All right.
All right, so now, one of the things that comes with these hooligan is a change in time.
We already talked about some change.
No, but we didn't really get into it.
Okay.
Because one, it flips today. Like for you, it flips the mindset, the psyche,
Sure.
because like now you have
Is today the first day of spring?
it was the 20th.
So
this year.
yesterday.
I thought it was always the 21st, but it was the 20th.
So that Wednesday?
Wednesday, I think, yeah. The equinox happened.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, so don't we have an eclipse going on?
I mean, generally speaking, yes.
A total eclipse of the heart.
Cue the music. Production assistant. Son of a bitch. But all right, so it changes for me because I'm way more optimistic once there's more daylight. I think everybody is,
Totally.
right? Sad goes.
What are we looking at? Like 7:30 before we lose the sun behind shadow?
Yeah. But it also comes up a little bit later.
Well, I'm fine with. I don't see it.
Fair.
It's not doing anything.
But
before
does it change your mindset? Are you more positive?
100%. I'm more
Do you think
positive,
it-
more positive, more productive.
Let me say this differently. I feel like when you made that comment in November about like 4 hours of
Totally.
light, it's gonna be dark for 4 months, see y'all.
Yeah.
I think you were truthful in that.
100%.
sentiment.
I fucking hate it. I absolutely. It makes
Yeah.
no sense. I don't know why the days already are getting shorter.
Yeah.
Why then turn the clock back
Right.
20 hours to
I
make
just
them even
really-
6 minutes of daylight? I don't know how people that live in like was it Alaska or Sweden or somewhere where they have like 3 weeks of dark.
Well, in Alaska, has both
Alaska.
sides.
So
They get
Alaska gets like a couple,
24 hours of daylight.
and then they get
and
the
then-
dark.
Yeah. And just
Oh, I watched that HBO show.
oh yeah.
It was pretty good.
What was it?
Jodie Foster,
No, True Detective.
True Detective,
True Detective.
season 4.
When you're into the night.
Into the night.
Because they don't get daylight.
Pretty good. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Oh, well, True Detective is like. Is it True Detective? I don't think it's true.
I think you're right. I think that's exactly.
Because the first season was like Woody Harrelson and Vince Vaughn, and like the next year was like Matthew
McConaughey.
McConaughey, and
Just driving around in a Lincoln the whole time.
this one like shout out Lincoln.
So
Let's go. All right, so mindset we talked about.
Yep.
Um,
I could give two shits about the sleep. Honestly,
Yeah.
these days I'm like 5 hours a night.
it is nice that you can go. You're golf for a little bit. You can go to the driving range at 6 a.m. and rip off a bucket of balls.
The most important thing about where we live is the assault gun range stays open until 7 instead of 4.
Yep,
Because you work till 5, it's hard to get trigger time
for real,
when the range closes at 4.
for real.
So now the range closes at 7, so now you can get trigger time. Except on Wednesdays, it's closed on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
Right.
check your local calendar.
Yeah, go shoot your guns, guys, because it's you're probably gonna need them here sooner than later.
Train up.
Train
Yeah,
the
train
fuck up.
But also check the hours of your local range. That's how the Glenwood Springs fire that we referenced earlier got
Well,
started.
that was the Lake Christine fire.
Oh, Lake Christine.
That wasn't the Glenwood Canyon fire.
What was
Two
that?
different fires.
All right, it was Clear Creek, I think.
And yeah, and then Lake Christine.
All right.
Lake Christine fire happened because some fucking idiot was shooting tracer rounds.
All right, so let's talk about this time change thing. I actually did some empirical.
So where did it
research.
come
So
from?
yeah. So initially,
World War II?
it was started by like intellectuals. Ben Franklin, namely, being one of the more
No,
prominent.
it wasn't.
Stop it.
All right.
Listen, did
All
you
right.
do any
Shoot,
research?
I did not. I did not.
You did barely.
I'm just gonna make up
You're
shit.
just
Right
gonna fucking him off.
This is some stuff that I heard from somebody one time.
Well, I found this on Wikipedia, so
All right.
I know it to be.
Well, give me the cliff notes. Let's go.
Listen, I didn't find it on Wikipedia. I actually am a producer of this show as
Okay.
well as a co-host. And the point is, it started with Benjamin Franklin with the notion, just the notion. So fact check your shit, but it started with the
He
notion
wore animal teeth.
that he did better. But
America, I know. No one's against Ben
Come
Franklin.
on, he also had slaves. It's not like he did everything right.
Right.
But like, and maybe not even daylight saving.
Definitely not that far.
Stay on program.
Well, then fucking spit it out.
All right. He felt that he was more with his like circadian rhythm.
Okay.
In the sense that like he would go to bed when the sun went down and he would wake and work when the sun came up.
Let's go back to that. Proceed.
Yeah.
Just put a pin in that. I'll
And
back to that.
and what?
The
Wooden teeth?
No, the Persadium fucking whatever.
Circadian.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Yep. Whatever. I know where we're coming back to it. This is where the show devolves. Amazing. No, but this allowed him to have like he could work by daylight. So instead of like back in the day, think about Benjamin Franklin's era. This is before he invented electricity.
Oh.
Check your facts. No, but before Benjamin Franklin invented electricity, he had to burn candles in order to work, in order to write, in order to like, solve electrical problems.
Smoke crack.
Right?
Sure.
Circuit patterns and things like this. I hope everyone knows Ben Franklin.
He did circuit patterns. He
Did not.
He invented the first computer. He was Apple.
He wrote the first algorithm.
Yes.
And
It was also a DJ, so.
yeah, but he had trouble with bookings.
He did. Because of the candles.
All right, so apparently he started waking up closer to sunrise. It gave him more hours to like illuminate.
So then what, he was like, fuck it, now I want to go to bed because I've been awake for so long?
Well, it's also dark. Good makes sense.
So why make it darker earlier?
Hence the circadian rhythm. You go to bed when
I get where you're going, but he's fucking wrong. And everyone that does the time change is wrong.
Okay.
And I would like anyone that is on board for time change, you're welcome to come here on the podcast and I will fucking fight you.
So there are two places that don't recognize the time change. Do you know them?
Me and my house.
No. Okay, there are 4 places. No, there are 2 states within the union that don't.
Oh.
Do you know them?
No. Yeah. Indiana?
What what? Now interviewing applicants. For new code. Indiana. Why on earth would Indiana?
Because I lived on the Illinois-Indiana, like 30 miles from the Indiana-Illinois state line. And we used to drive there and the time changed to Indiana. But I feel like sometimes...
Because that's a time zone.
Right, but I feel like sometimes it didn't. Anyway, what 2 states?
All right, kids. This is the advertisement for
What 2 states then?
private school versus public school.
Puerto Rico and Alaska?
Puerto Rico's not a state.
Whatever.
And also Alaska's not right.
Okay, so what?
You know this.
I don't. New York and California.
Why would you pick those two?
I don't know, cause they're on the ends of stuff.
Alright.
So what is it?
Alright, this is great. This is good. This is good for our audience.
Montana and Florida. Your mom's house. You fucking tell me right now. I don't know.
Just two more random destinations. You want one more?
North Dakota, South Dakota.
Could you imagine the confusion of the Dakotas if the Dakotas were the only two that didn't adhere to the same?
What is happening?
What is going on?
I went from mountain time to central time, and there was no time change. I'm just transporting myself 6 hours.
My friend went to Montana. He's on Pacific. I don't even know. I don't even know. Oh my god, to get to Dakota. That would be so epic. That's a Saturday Night Live skit, like a Jim Carrey skit back in the day.
I love
That is hilarious.
I love South Dakota.
That is hilarious, dude.
I love South Dakota.
That couldn't have been better, dude.
South Dakota is one of the
South-
greatest states.
Do you think they're on the same time as?
They're not on the same for a lot of the country, but they're better. They're on better time than most of the country.
Now, you think that like 2 weeks out of the year for Sturgis, you do not spend any time in South Dakota outside of bike rallies?
Well, but they
Be
got
honest.
they
They
got
have what?
what's
they have-
the monument with the
Rushmore.
Rushmore,
Yeah, cool.
which according to National Treasure is where the city of gold is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that shit's probably true. No, I like their governor, Chrissy Nome, and she's badass. And
Shout out.
yeah, her.
Yeah.
Chrissy Nome.
Alright, so the two states are Casey, Hawaii, and Arizona. All right, so I had to look into this because I did not know
All right,
that.
Hawaii makes sense
No, why does Hawaii make sense?
because it's out there.
So who gives them?
Well, I mean, they do their own shit.
All right, so they should have a different clock.
I mean, we're sending other countries
Don't you think
trillions of dollars,
don't you
and
think
their island burnt down. And we get them like $700 for like, good luck, guys.
I know, totally. Yeah.
Drop that ball.
All right, pen in that. Wait, we have a pen in something else too. Did we get back to it?
Yeah, the time change thing.
Oh, here we are. Fantastic. No, listen.
All right, and then Arizona, I don't get
All right. So Hawaii.
because they're the best at stealing elections.
All right. The best. We're the best at importing Mexicans since '97.
Yeah. And now Chinese.
Forget Maricopa County. That was just a distraction. Remember the like sheriff that would put everybody in
Oh, yeah.
like jumpsuits.
Mhm.
What a douche. All right. So Ben Franklin was like, look, I'm just gonna allow, like, he basically called them intellectual hours, like the illuminated hours. I'm putting words to this, but this is my take. Anyway, the next part is not my words. The next part is this was mostly adopted around World War I, like you said. It was
I said World War II, but I knew it was World
because of the war.
Right.
But it was
for factory working.
yeah, to conserve energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't have to run so many lights.
So when it was dark, that was the time.
Yeah.
So 5 o'clock is dark.
But there were pushback. There was pushback from the agricultural community. So this is where like the misinformation
Sure.
comes in.
A lot of that going on these days.
It started back then.
Yeah.
So the misinformation was that
I mean, we've assassinated a few presidents.
pushback from the farmers because we talked about the strength of their lobby group.
Sure.
You know, everyone shows up in a tractor in DC.
Mhm.
So the federal government
Big agricultural states.
So the federal government nixed it and imposed only at a local level for a while. So like states could decide, which is like how we got to like the ability of Arizona and Hawaii to like be able to even like.
I like that
run
Arizona like
independent.
held, Arizona held the line.
Well, especially if it was the farmer lobbyists, because who's growing shit in Arizona?
Not a lot.
Somebody
Oranges, maybe, I don't know, what do you, cactus?
Yucca?
Yucca, cactus?
Totally. So that's the opposite of what I thought. So it kind of went away. Because like they just couldn't get traction, couldn't get like, you know, national buy-in. And then World War II, we went back to it because again,
Conserve energy, factory working.
yeah. Farmer lobbies had failed because they weren't as strong as we thought they were.
They weren't as big as the military industrial complex.
And then,
weird.
And then,
That's so weird.
and then, to your point, Congress repealed it
I would have thought Grandpa Truman and his bibbed overall
I
would pull
know.
more weight in Congress than.
with his wheatgrass coming out
Yeah.
the side. I know.
I thought he would have carried more weight than the military industrial
You
complex.
and I both. Turns out wasn't. All right, so here's the real meat and potatoes of this.
All right.
For our listeners, thanks for sticking through this. This is actually
If you're
good,
still listening, there's go to a meeting.
and we love you.
We love it.
And this is good because I did not know this. I did this research specifically for you for this episode. Hawaii and Arizona don't recognize. Arizona doesn't do it because of the heat. They don't want more daylight hours.
Sure.
So you'd rather,
Because it's too hot.
rather than spring forward, like stay back
Sure.
because shit is cool.
Let's not start our day until
at
5
the
p.m.
real 7 o'clock than it is at the artificial 8 o'clock.
I will say this: Arizona is significantly better after 5 o'clock.
But fine, okay.
Because in Arizona, like it gets fucking hot.
So they just want fewer operational daylight hours. That's all. That,
Well,
that makes sense. That
I-
plays. That plays.
I just think that it should be. I would rather have it be dark in the morning than have it be dark in the evening.
It's a personal preference. We're talking about.
I don't give a shit.
I think daylight savings was.
This is my
initiated
fucking podcast. We're in my house and I make the rules.
our podcast.
Our podcast,
Us.
Jenna's house.
Our-
Fuck, I hate no rules.
We are at our studio.
Yes, this is the studio.
This is our studio.
I'm gonna try and write it off as our studio this year.
You can.
Yeah,
We're gonna have ad revenue. Yeah, thanks for your clicks.
yeah.
Shout out to our sponsors.
Shout out to the IRS, appreciate you.
It's
let's-
solved after this episode.
Yeah.
Alright, so Hawaii though, check this out. This is better.
Tulsi Gabbard, let's go.
What?
Tulsi Gabbard,
Oh.
senator from Hawaii,
Yeah.
potential VP.
Hawaii doesn't do daylight savings time because they're so much farther south than most of the US, but this would not distance them from like, say, South Texas, like Corpus Christi or South Padre
Huh.
or Key West and like Isla Mujer in Florida. Like
Ooh, tidbit, a lot of Canada is actually further south than some of the US.
really?
Yeah, people don't know that.
Do you guys know that Las Vegas is south of Los Angeles?
Yeah, I do know.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
that drive is the dumbest drive ever.
The worst drive ever on a
Oh.
Sunday. On a Sunday from Vegas,
I want to kill everyone.
you should shoot everyone.
I would like to just. I did Jenna's Forerunner, which is gutless. I love her Forerunner, but it has no balls.
It's 170 miles and it'll probably take you 5 hours, and it's the hottest, worst 5 hours.
I passed people on the shoulder of the road.
Oh, I would just go like into the desert.
Yeah, I literally passed people on the shoulder.
And until I hit shrubbery that I couldn't clear, I would come back to the 70 or the 15.
That drive almost ended Jen and I's marriage.
Let's put a pin in that.
Right.
Let's come back to why Hawaii doesn't do it. Because they're the most equatorial state. Anyway.
Closest to the equator.
Yeah. Which means like sunlight and dark hours like don't really vary.
You know, that also
That
kind of
much,
ties
that
back
much.
to our end of the winter, is when we lose all of our J1 workers because they live below in the southern
Do we
hemisphere.
lose them?
I mean, I don't miss them. So actually, I take that back. That's bullshit because you do end up meeting one or two that are kind of cool.
No, they're all like rad individuals.
Totally.
But the program itself,
It's
are
not.
we?
I can't believe these kids. I mean, when you're 21,
I'd take J1s
You-
over music school
oh yeah,
all day.
oh my god. Anyway, for people that are
Earmark that for summer episode.
yeah, for people that are listening, J1s are these like foreign exchange students essentially that
Come across on visas.
Yep.
They're housed by their employer.
usually Skiko.
They are housed by their employer. They're given a place to live. They have jobs to do, and they get to run around in Aspen for like 6 months. I
They've
don't
been
know what the beef is. Like, look, Most of these kids are also like 18 to 24.
18 to 24. They're college students, most of them.
Which is like you want to be studying abroad, you want to do a semester at sea, you want to do a remote year, you want to do like a thing.
They get paid.
No, but
Fuck
like
it.
locals want, hold on, before you even get into it, like let's talk about the crux of the problem. Like locals whine about that they're not like taken care of. It's like, dude, you were in the military, I played sports, like if I
spent a year of my life sleeping on the ground.
totally. Well, I also like on sports teams traveling.
Totally.
I've
Six dudes in a hotel.
Yeah, dude, in one room.
Yeah, in one room.
And two beds, four of us are on the floor, and the next night we rotate. Like
These are not third world living
people are
conditions.
saying like these kids are being like not
No, they're not being mistreated.
They're also living in the greatest place on the planet.
Yes, they're not mistreated, and
they get to ski every day that they're not working.
Even some of them, their work is to ski.
Yeah,
I mean they're working in these bougie hotels.
totally.
They're bartending, so they get hookups on drinks. They're in the service industry, so they get hookups on.
And if they're good, they make friends. They also get hooked up.
Yeah,
that.
no. There is zero mistreatment of these guys. These kids, they live a great life.
Yeah.
My hang up with them is because they know they're only here for 4 months. They fuck shit up.
Well, I mean, that's getting into our episode of like transient communities, like what's happening in our US borders.
Yeah.
And that's a good preemptive.
But also too, I think there's such a cultural difference.
Totally.
Because
well, there's so many of them they just band together that like
it's a mob.
Argentines hang with Argentines
Sure.
or Chileans or
The RGs.
or is that what they're called?
I think they're affectionately known as the RGs. It's not like discriminatory. But
Well, I think the Porteños might separate from the Mendozans.
sure. Well, but culturally they don't tip. And so like you get bartenders and they're like, what the fuck? This person ordered a beer and didn't tip.
That's
It's
also like their
but here's the thing.
age too,
It's
and
their age.
currency.
But also we just talked
exchange
about like the
rate.
spring breakers.
I
They
know.
come out and they're on daddy's fucking credit card
I know.
and they don't tip.
They're the worst.
And they're from
They were-
Texas.
They
They're
were
from
just raised wrong.
Right.
I think the like J1s or like
I think
the
it's a mix of both. But I do think some of the J1s play the dummy card. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
like, wait,
because
you wait tables during the day.
third season,
Right.
they know
And
better.
you wait tables, you bar back, you whatever, you know how this works.
Get at us in the comments if you're the J1 and you have something else to say.
And also come fucking fight me. Don't
And-
fight me, I'm kidding. I love
Entonces hablamos español también.
you. Love you guys, because honestly, this town
Makes
does
the
not
town go round.
this town does not work in
And
the
we
winter.
love
without
the
it.
youthful energy.
Absolutely.
Like it's what keeps us young and
Totally.
too.
And
All right, so I think we're close, man. We're like good episodes so far. I really
Um,
like what you're thinking about. So I think the last thing that we did in the winterizing episode that's relevant to this episode is like to talk about the gear flip. You know what I mean? You got to take stuff out of your car. You got to get stuff into the car.
this might be one of the worst times to, because you got to bring your winter shit and your summer shit.
Oh, it's so much heavy, right?
I mean, like your summer shit's easy because it's like swim trunks and flip flops, but you still got to bring your winter shit.
And you're done with winter, so you're like, ugh. You know,
Yeah.
like I gotta carry all this heavy, wet gear, or not wet, but like heavy gear, hard goods.
Let me ask you this, because you're someone that you have winter gear. Like I have like winter gear, but it's like work winter gear, and like I have the same insulated Carhartt bibs for the last 6 years.
Yeah,
But like, are you done with a set of snowboard pants at the end of the year?
depends on
What you got? But I think it's most people get like a new ski kit, snowboard kit every year.
no, I run like a 3-set quiver. For like hardware and software, like hard goods and soft goods. So I have like ideally, you know, income and like cash flow permitting.
But you have like a base layer, a couple base layers, and then you have like a thermal layer, and then you have like a
three of all.
Right.
3 base layers, 3 ski sock rotations, 1 set of boots, obvi. But like 3 pants, 3 jacket,
And shells?
and 3 boards.
Okay,
All set up for different conditions.
Sure.
right?
here's the thing. I know, and my wife used to do it. She doesn't really get on the mountain that much anymore, but I think a lot of people do this. At the end of your ski season, if you know you're replacing your pants, your jackets, your boots, throw that shit away.
No, depends. It may not work for me next season, or I might be done with it after this
You know,
season
so many people that like have their storage lockers full of shit
that you'll never use.
that they're gonna replace at before opening day. They're gonna replace at the early ski sale.
Well, I say donate or hibernate over like toss. Because like inevitably, like I'll have a brother or a cousin or a friend that comes out that's like needs to
Same, I got spares. I got spares and stuff.
Yeah. So I think that, but also I would just rather pay it forward because like, I mean, I don't know.
But then
I don't really know how to say this. Like we
like you don't like Buddy Jacob.
we're particular about our gear, so
Oh
like,
yeah.
I need to upgrade my stuff from year
You
to
gotta
year.
stay current, yeah.
But like my boots are busted this year. I didn't buy new boots this year. I just rolled through.
Made it at work.
I wasn't working. I already had like 100 days in these boots.
You know
last.
you know these boots are not getting one right down the hill next year.
No,
Right.
definitely not. And I can't donate them, and like they're not going to be a good.
They're
use
blown
for
out.
anybody else.
So they're going in the trash.
They're busted. Yeah, but I got 230 days on them over 2 years before I sent them.
I mean, you got your money out of them.
I got my money out of them, and I feel good about like trashing them because
Sure.
like now they're breaking down.
Should we do like a retirement
Do
ceremony?
you want to do a burn ceremony?
I mean, I'm in.
They are my best boots I've ever had.
What brand were they?
Oh, K9 Snow Clouds, dude, or K2 Snow Clouds.
K2.
K2 Snow Clouds.
I've got a set of Vans boots that I've had for like a couple of years, but I don't ride nearly as much in them. But they're the most comfortable boots. They're still really rigid and stiff, but they're probably garbage now.
It's like the equivalent, I think, what skiers go to do, like Surefoot or like custom molded binding or
The
like
K2s were?
the cases inside, and they just settled in and they're perfect. But okay, one thing that I got from a conversation with a friend about our discussion today,
I also have something I want to bring up in a minute.
which was pro tip, like when you're putting your winter gear away. Throw in some dryer sheets or take the silicone packets from your vitamins.
Silica.
Yeah, thank you. Silicone.
Don't take silicone.
Put some fake titties in your
Glue your shit together with tub and tile cock.
some silica
Yeah.
or cedar chips.
Yep.
And sprinkle them into your little basin wherever you're putting your winter gear and like
Wrap your shit up.
Yep. Totally. So that's good. Tactical people, if you're listening. Also, this is the time to mention. This is the time for me to buy my boots for next year.
First, that's why I was.
This is the banker
Deals.
Like, everything is on sale.
Yeah.
You can get this season's stuff for last season's price.
Oh, it's fire sale.
Yeah.
All the shops want to close out inventory.
I would normally never tell you to buy anything from a snowboard shop in town,
Never.
in a resort town, except now.
Now.
Because they want it out.
They don't want to put it away.
They can't ship it back. Like, yeah, exactly.
No, 100% I would buy boots, I would buy bindings, I would buy outer gear. I wouldn't buy boards or skis.
Goggles or
Yeah. Because you're gonna want the new cool shit. But like stuff that no one sees, stuff that no one knows, get it now.
All right.
One more thing.
Well, we have one more like actual thing.
Okay.
But, like, how are we doing on time? How long are we doing?
I don't know.
Doing this.
Whose pants am I wearing? I'm on my 4th beer, so.
Why doesn't this show me? Whatever. All right. Let's be concise. Tell me your thing. I want to hear your thing.
So spring, and this is super near and dear to me. And you see all the stupid signs. Motorcycles. Spring is happening. Guys are excited. They're getting their bikes out. But the roads are shit. There's potholes. All the CDOT and all the different municipalities are going to be fixing the roads throughout the state. They're going to be opening mountain passes that have been closed. Don't drive like an asshole for the next, few weeks or a month. Look out for motorcycles. Look out for the kid that just got his first bike, got his motorcycle license.
Black ice also, like it could be.
Yeah.
Some stuff could hit you faster than you think.
I mean, just because it's 60 during the day, it's gonna melt and put all that snow on the road, but it could still drop below 20 at night. And you're gonna have slippery corners, especially in the shadows, especially in canyons. Mountain passes are gonna open. It's gonna be inconsistent driving conditions with new motorcycle riders and seasoned motorcycle riders, and the road's got a ton of crap on them. That's all I wanted to say. And go Cubs. What do you got?
Well, the last thing we're gonna talk about, which is like one of the biggest things as dudes and sports fans and athletes, is the changing of the seasons of sports.
Yeah.
First of all, we're dealing with March Madness right now. We got a tie between TCU and Utah State. Casey knew this was gonna be a tight game. Actually, we're just watching highlights. The ties change. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But March Madness happens, but then shit gets weird.
Well, here's the thing. We got March Madness, which is great. It's a couple weeks of good shit.
Wait, are you a bracket guy though?
It used to be. I don't have anyone to really do it with, and I'm not an online sports bettor.
Drop a link in the comments. We'll join your
bracket.
pool next year, your bracket next year, and we'll donate 50% of the winnings to your charity of choice.
There you go.
Because we're gonna win. One of us will.
Uh,
Probably win.
honestly, well, you think that you will because you're educated. I probably will
I never will.
because
I've been doing this for 20 years. I've never won a bracket.
and I've gotten pretty close.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I've been pretty close in some.
All right, who's your pick for this year? Because we're gonna publish this before the bracket.
I'm gonna go U of I. I'm gonna go Illini. I think it's
Such a homer pick.
I think it's Illini Purdue in the final, and I think Illini wins.
Wow. Big Ten final?
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. So we'll start an agency if you hit that.
All right.
People are gonna be like, I take my money. Like,
Take my money.
yeah, like what are your
More importantly, we
But,
got
like
hockey
hoops and
playoffs,
hockey, yes. Hoops and hockey playoffs are coming up.
and I'm gonna go
That's
Avalanche.
exciting. Abby this year.
I'm gonna go Avs. I think Avs are gonna do it.
Well, hockey's your forte.
It is.
What is my NBA pick? What is my NBA pick?
Can I disclaim the hockey thing?
Yeah, because I need a minute to figure out my NBA pick.
It's because I like the Avs. They're having a season. McKinnon's
You're a
up.
Blackhawks fan.
I like the Avs a lot too.
Don't we like Connor McDavid or what?
You know, he's an Oiler.
No,
Or are you thinking McCarr?
McCall. No, that's an Av.
Oh, that's an Avs.
No, who's the rookie on the Blackhawks? The kid that got his jaw broke.
Yeah, he's like fucking 18.
Bedard.
Connor Bedard.
Bedard.
Yeah, he's a badass, but the Blackhawks are a couple of years
19
away.
and 50.
Oh yeah, I think they're the worst team. Actually, they're one of the more fun teams to watch because he's so creative.
Yeah, except for Bedard's been out for.
He's back.
I know, but he was out for like.
He's playing in the fucking fishbowl. That sucks.
What does that mean?
He's got the
Helmet.
Yeah, he's got the
Full
full
mask.
face. Yeah.
He's fucking 19 and fragile.
I mean, he's not that fragile. He goes hard. He doesn't have a ripcord. He's like 5'11" or 5'10" and like under 200 pounds, like 180
No,
pounds.
there are absolute fuking killers in the NHL that are going.
Yeah, but they can't fucking catch him.
But one of them caught him,
He got caught,
and
and he'll get caught.
He got
He's
murdered.
gonna get caught,
I know.
but he's crafty. Also, Chicago, would you get him Marty McSortley?
Yeah, can we
Get him some protection.
Yeah, can we get him? Is
Probert.
Shorzy available?
Get him fucking Shorzy. Get him me.
Or Shorzy-
Chicago, I will sign the contract and I
Yes.
will come whoop motherfuckers' asses
Yeah,
to protect that
he
boy.
needs no merch licensing deals.
Yeah.
he just wants to
Literally
goon
just
it-
put me up and
goon
keep
it
me in
out.
my Coors problem and I will show up.
Goon it out. All right, so wait, hold on. We covered it differently. All right, so Illini wins the NIT. I mean, sorry,
NCAA.
they belong in the NIT. Okay, but
I think
I,
you would buy Purdue.
I picked Purdue
Okay.
before you even said your fucking homer
Okay.
garbage. So we'll check the receipts on that and
I mean, who
episode.
won the Big Ten?
Who did win the Big Ten?
The U of I, motherfucker.
That's why they're in the tournament as the number 3 seed.
And who beat Purdue? Wisconsin.
Yeah, Purdue was resting people for the big.
Were
dance.
they?
Yeah, the big dance.
Were they?
Yeah, when you run number 1 most of the year. But anyway, talk to a hockey guy about some basketball. It's tough.
Yeah, and maybe I'll cut some hockey guys loose on the court and shut it all down.
We know how that one had the Eagles because some hockey guys lose. You lost and you had to nurse.
Yeah. What? I didn't foul you.
I don't know.
Have we told this story on the
I
podcast?
called and one. No, and this is not the episode.
No, this is not. But guys, just know that in the near future,
It's a teaser.
there's a pretty epic fucking story between us.
For those of you fraternal members of the Eagles that are also local listeners,
Or any hockey player, or any basketball player,
tune in for
or
that.
any woman that wears sanitary napkins.
Or anybody who's been to the bathroom in
Yeah.
a community place.
There's a lot of people this
The
encompasses.
Venn diagram is like a lot of overlap, but we're not wrong on any of that. That's one of the few things we can agree on in this episode. All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it.
You've been great.
You've been great.
I feel like we've done awesome.
Yeah, I'm not mad at me.
We talked about a lot of things that matter. It sucks that hoops and hockey are the only things to get us through.
No, we got baseball starting.
I know, but we live in a town where we don't have actual baseball. Like baseball only matters if you can go to the stadium.
I go to Rockies
Like,
games.
baseball on TV is not a thing.
No,
But we're a 4-hour drive to Denver.
Sure. But when they
Two
play
and a
the,
half if you and I are doing
but
it.
the Rockies play the Cubs a couple times a year, and I
Yeah.
like to go with Cubs. So
It's fun.
it is.
Well, shout out Coors Field because it's a great stadium.
Also, a closer way to watch baseball is to go to the Springs
Junction,
or Junction.
the Springs.
Yeah, they got a minor league team,
Jesus.
and it's great. Minor league baseball, if you guys haven't been, is really good baseball.
Shout out to Andrea Major, and I think in French it's Major, but she runs a phenomenal spa, and
Oh yeah, Andrea, love her.
and Andrea was
She does
calling-
all my butthole waxing.
and Andrea was calling out. I do all of her art hanging.
Oh,
I like in her studio, where you get your butthole waxed.
where I get my
So if
butthole
you've noticed like lighting the curtains, like I did that.
I always feel super comfortable when I'm on all fours.
Yeah, because you're not seen from the street,
Right.
And Kelsey, her like dude, and I, good friend, mutual friend.
You guys each hold the cheek while she waxes my butthole.
No. We've installed the apparatus that allows you to be
Sure.
comfortable in your, butthole waxing.
Andrea does what spray tans. She does.
Check the comments for a 20% off code. Exfoliation, esthetician,
Esthetician, that's the word.
eyebrows. She'll style you out. Just
Yeah.
start with her. Anyway, she's amazing. Shout out to her. But point is, she called out this like minor league baseball idea that we should be in Junction, or I don't know about Glenwood Springs.
No. Colorado Springs.
Oh, I'd rather go to Junction.
Really? It's so hot there.
Colorado Springs is so gangster.
I love Colorado Springs.
Why? Because you're a military guy, you can roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of us feel like a little like can't do that. Colorado
Really?
Springs a little too like tight knit. I feel like I'm back in the South. My aunt's telling me to tell her the difference between Presbyterian and Methodist.
Anyway,
That's all I got. We have a couple more notes, but like I think we did good.
fuck it. I'm out of beer.
I think you did amazing.
Time to put it in public.
My guy,
Love you, brother.
episode number 11. Spry for spring. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Appreciate you.
And share, if you enjoyed this, share it with a friend. And also, even if you did or didn't, just tell a friend something nice.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
You might change their life. You
Yeah.
might change their day. Be awesome. See ya.
Adios.